Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan, a medically qualified doctor and a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of color. Today's video is one of the most highly requested videos. Thousands of you have asked me to make this video. It's to teach you the best vitamin C's on Nykaa to brighten your skin, reduce wrinkles, reduce hyperpigmentation without damaging your skin barrier. Today we're going to go through how vitamin C works, who should use it, how to use it, i.e. what to layer it with, the common mistakes made, and of course picking the best vitamin C's for your skin using our 5-point criteria for skin of color. How do you use this thing? And, the smell. As unfortunately, most skincare wasn't made with skin of color in mind. And yes, that also includes India. Because what happens is formulas from the West tend to get replicated in India and they weren't really designed for our skin. Now, the reason why this is important is because our melanocytes are larger. Those are cells producing the pigment melanin, and they are easier to trigger. So we can't afford any irritation to our skin. So let's talk about how vitamin C works. There are 6 main ways. Vitamin C is a multi-benefit ingredient, which is ideal for our super busy lives. So number 1, it's anti-aging. Vitamin C can help to slow down the signs of aging, such as wrinkles and dark spots. It works by promoting collagen formation. Vitamin C acts as a cofactor for the proline and lysine hydroxylases that stabilize the collagen molecule. It also promotes collagen gene expression. The other beauty of vitamin C is that it neutralizes and removes damaging oxidants. For example, seen after any sort of environmental stress on the skin, such as pollution or exposure to UV radiation. So this of course happens when you're in a hot country. Vitamin C appears to be of particular importance in the epidermis, where vitamin C is concentrated. This is the top layer of skin. This is why using vitamin C topically is beneficial for us. The second benefit of vitamin C is that it's a tyrosinase inhibitor. And what that means is that it evens out skin tone and helps with any very mild form of hyperpigmentation. So it reduces the rate of melanin production by calming down the melanocyte, the cell that produces the pigment melanin, and helping to bring it back to normal. The third benefit of vitamin C is that it helps with wound healing. Because it helps to promote collagen synthesis, there's evidence to suggest that vitamin C increases proliferation of fibroblasts, which is what helps with wound repair. The next benefit is that it helps with sunburn reduction. So vitamin C topically and orally helps to reduce UV damage to the skin when used with a sunscreen. What we don't talk about so much is actually how vitamin C helps with dry skin. Cell culture studies have shown that the addition of topical vitamin C enhances the production of barrier fats, so those are lipids in the skin, and promotes the production of skin cells, those are keratinocytes. This is why vitamin C is important for the formation for the top layer of skin, that's your stratum corneum, and also influences the ability of the skin to protect itself from water loss. Don't forget, for skin of color, we already tend to have drier, duller skin because we have less ceramides in our skin than Caucasians. The other benefit of vitamin C that we really don't talk about enough is that it's anti-inflammatory. Vitamin C can help to soothe rosacea and other conditions that cause redness and inflammation. So it really does help you in so many different aspects when it comes to your skincare. So how do you pick the best vitamin C for your skin? There are 5 things to look for in your vitamin C serum to check it even works for skin of color, as most products on the market were formulated for Caucasian skin. Number 1 is the form of vitamin C used. Number 2 is the percentage used. Number 3 is the packaging. This is very important to keep the vitamin C effective. Number 4 is the pH of the formula, because again, it's different for different forms of vitamin C, and you need to get that right in order to make sure the product is effective. And number 5 are the additional ingredients used in the formula. If you use the wrong ingredient, it can actually stop your vitamin C from working. And that's why it's important to know what it should be combined with and what it should not be combined with. Let's start off with the vitamin C form used. The most common type is L-ascorbic acid. This is a pure form of vitamin C, but it's unstable and it oxidizes quickly. It requires a very low pH to be effective, i.e. about 2.5 to 3 to really absorb into the skin. But this can actually irritate the skin. It can chemically exfoliate the skin. Plus, you need to be using high percentages for it to work at about 10 to 20%. I do not recommend L-ascorbic acid for skin of color, because what you're essentially doing is you are taking off the top layer of skin with acid and you tend to use it every day. This means that you are not protecting the young skin cells cells underneath enough from UV damage. And so actually, even though there's so many benefits with vitamin C, there's a big downside with exfoliating daily. It can damage the skin barrier, it can lead to sensitivity, it can lead to more dry, flaky skin. And actually, any other actives you then put on the skin can burn the skin. This is not what I want for skin of color, and it can actually lead to more hyperpigmentation and dullness of the skin. L-ascorbic acid is really more for Caucasian skin. So when you see L-ascorbic acid being used, for example, in India, and that is in a hot climate for skin of color, you know that not much thought has really gone into why you're using that form of vitamin C. Is it just a copy-paste situation, or have you really thought about why you're doing that? And this is why this whole channel exists. It's a non-sponsored channel. We do not accept money from anyone ever under any circumstance, so that you get evidence-based information and you can actually look at your own products and think, is this working for me, or is this good for me? If I'm getting a reaction, why am I getting a reaction? When you see L-ascorbic acid, they tend to be the most expensive, but avoid it. And often the packaging is wrong. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. In addition, L-ascorbic acid stains your face and your fingers. It decomposes and turns into erythrulose, a fake tanning ingredient. It also has a smell that is difficult to cover up, and it's incredibly unstable, breaks down quickly. So the whole product tends to go off before you've actually finished using it. It needs to be used, as we've talked about, at a low pH of around 2.5 to 3, but this level of acidity can be too irritating for some people. In addition, because it oxidizes so quickly, it really has to be in an airless pump. So if you see L-ascorbic acid in a pipette, in a bottle and a pipette formula, you know it's one to avoid, because you've got oxygen around the actual product itself. You don't really know how effective it is. So in my humble opinion, the derivatives of vitamin C are far better for skin of color, because you get all the benefits without the irritation. The problem is that they can be a little bit confusing because there are so many of them. Let me go through them with you step by step. Get your pen and paper out, and also just pause this video and screenshot as I list everything on the screen for you. The first is sodium ascorbyl phosphate, so SAP, S-A-P. It's one of my favorites. I formulate a lot with it. I use it in my ranges in the UK and the US that we sell on Skincare by Dr. V. And it's one that you should really look out for because it causes very little irritation. Use it at skin neutral pH, and you need lower percentages of it for it to work, which means there's now space in the formula for other actives. And you know how I love cocktail ingredients, cocktail products for my skin of color family. The second vitamin C that I love is tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate. So that is your fat soluble vitamin C. And what that means is that it penetrates easier into the skin. It goes through the epidermis into the dermis to help stimulate collagen production. This is why I tend to always use two forms of vitamin C, your water soluble vitamin C like SAP, and your fat soluble vitamin C such as tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate. So that way you're basically tackling the epidermis and the dermis. When it comes to skin of color, it's almost like we have to walk this fine line where we're getting maximum benefit, the most effective formulas, but with zero irritation. Because the second you irritate skin of color, it leads to hyperpigmentation. If you watch any of my videos, you will know that I always say one scratch, one bite, or one burn, and we hyperpigment. We cannot afford to irritate our skin. This does not happen to Caucasian skin, which is why we need to have more education when it comes to our skin. The next ingredient for vitamin C that I love is ascorbyl glucoside. So the Ordinary uses this quite a lot. I like ascorbyl palmitate as well, and magnesium ascorbyl phosphate. The other big one is ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. We use a little bit less of this, but this is also fat soluble. So let's talk about sodium ascorbyl phosphate. I've spoken about it a little bit. It's a lighter, less intense version of L-ascorbic acid, and I love to use it in combination with tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate for skin of color. As we already discussed, tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate is a very stable oil-soluble form of vitamin C, and it penetrates very easily into the skin, and then it converts into pure ascorbic acid. So it's very stable in the actual formula itself because the ascorbic acid is happening in the skin, not in the bottle. And you don't get any of the irritation, again, because it's penetrated first and then it converts. So it's pH skin neutral. The next one is ascorbyl glucoside. So this is your water-soluble form of vitamin C. It brightens the skin and leads to firmer skin. So once it's absorbed into the skin, an enzyme called alpha glucidase breaks it down. into ascorbic acid, and that's what's delivering those brightening effects without any irritation. So The Ordinary does a very cheap one. The next ingredient is ascorbyl palmitate. This is an oil-soluble, pH-neutral derivative that's often combined with more potent forms of vitamin C, and it's great for sensitive skin. The next ingredient I talked about was sodium ascorbyl phosphate. This is a water-soluble derivative that promotes hydration, but it's not as potent as pure vitamin C. And again, The Ordinary does a good one. It's often sold out. Right, moving on to the bit of the video that you guys really want to see is, Dr. V, out of all the products on Nykaa that are vitamin C, which ones should we buy and which ones should we not buy? I'm going to go through each one individually with the pros, the cons, and whether I think it's worth your money or not. Starting off with Plum. Now, so many of you have asked me to review this product. It says mandarin and vitamin C, 15% serum, glow boost. Fragrance-free, I like this, well done. And this is 30 mils. Very interesting. Okay, right, so let's have a quick look. I've not opened up actually any of these vitamin Cs. I want to do it on here with you so I can give you my first impressions. Okay, so mistake number one is we got a pipette, but they have tried to prevent UV from hitting the product, because don't forget, UV also breaks down vitamin C. So not only do you not want oxygen around the product, you don't want light around the product either. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so it's coming out a bit of a frosted color. And it is very watery texture, so it's a light watery texture. It absorbs easily into the skin. Very, very strong smell, actually. It's probably come from the mandarin. Okay, right. So let me go through the ingredients list for you. So the first ingredient in here is obviously water, which you can tell. And most serums do start off with water as the first ingredient. This means that majority of the ingredients in here are going to be water soluble. It's only when the color changes to a white color that you know an emulsion has happened, and you've got fat soluble vitamin C's in here. So in here, you've got 15% ethyl ascorbic acid, which I like. Then they've put in propanediol, which is the solvent. Then it's betaine, which is a humectant, holds water in the top layer of skin. Then it's got isodec neopentanate, which is an emollient, which again is why it's making the skin feel a bit softer. But then they put in mandarin peel extract, and this can actually be quite irritating to the skin. I'd say there's nothing else in this, but I don't like the packaging. On the plus side, it is NAF safe, meaning there's no denatured alcohol, which dries the skin. There's no fragrance, which can lead to contact dermatitis, and there's no essential oils. And essential oils are also something I do not like for skin of color, because it can sensitize the skin. This is why I haven't done a video on forest essentials, because basically the whole range is very fragranced, a lot of essential oils, which can lead to contact dermatitis in 3 to 4% of the population. And even though that doesn't sound like a lot, if you think about 500,000 people watch my videos every day, 3 to 4% of people getting reactions because of something I'm recommending means tens of thousands of people a day, which I can't do. So I'm never going to recommend anything with essential oils in it, but this one is a NAF safe product. I don't think it's an ideal product. I do like the price point, but there are better things on the market on Nykaa. So for me, this is no. Moving on to deconstruct. So I did a video the other day, I don't know if you guys saw it, on mineral sunscreens on Nykaa, and I actually really liked Deconstruct's tinted mineral sunscreen. That is not an easy formula to create, so I was really impressed with that actually. And when I don't know if you guys have been following my journey when I came to India to launch our range with the Derma Co. I did a lot of events when I was out there, which was incredible, and I saw a lot of our followers and I was out there, and actually one of you did tell me that you love the Deconstruct mineral sunscreen, which is totally agreed with you. It's knife safe, and go and watch that video if you are looking for good sunscreens in India. Right, very interesting. Okay, so this is a glass bottle. It's coming out as a pump, so I'm just going to open this for you this way. It's a straw pump. This means it's not airless. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Okay, it's coming out very liquidy again, so water is going to be the first ingredient. It's absorbing easily into the skin. The reason why I do tend to like lightweight serums is because it's then easier to put moisturizer on top without feeling too heavy on the skin. And the thing with India is that it's hot a lot of the year and you don't really want to be sweating too much. Whew, the smell is strong. Oh, you're not going to like this smell. Let's go through the ingredients. So this product's got 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, which I love, love, love. It's one of my favorite vitamin C's. It's got glycerin, which is a humectant. It's also my favorite humectant because what it does holds water in the top layer of skin, a water magnet, without drying the dermis. Because often if you use the wrong humectant, a magnet that's too strong, it can actually pull water from the dermis into the epidermis and actually makes fine lines look worse, which you don't want. So you have to almost get that water magnet right. You don't want anything too strong, but you want it to be strong enough. So even with humectants, you can get it wrong. The next, they put in propylene glycol, which is another humectant, another one that I like. And they put in ferulic acid, 0.5%, which I love, love, love. It's an excellent ingredient. It's great for hyperpigmentation. It's one that I formulate with in my Skincare by Dr. V range. And I don't think we use it enough, actually. So I love ferulic acid. I'd also say this is a safe product. No DNH alcohol, no fragrance, no essential oils. But for me, the packaging is wrong. So they have tried with the light again, just as Plum have done, but there is oxygen around this product. So even though it's more stable than L-ascorbic acid, 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, you still don't want oxygen around the product. So for me, this is, it's not great. And the smell is strong. Moving on to Cosrx. It's quite solid packaging. I like it. I am a packaging kind of girl. I do like beautiful packaging. This is solid. I feel like it's a signaling marker as well. We do tend to look at packaging and then it gives us an impression as to the quality of the product inside. Again, they've double boarded this. Because of my brand, you probably wouldn't even have thought about double boarding, but double boarding, what it does is it solidifies the outside. And because if you're putting a product into shipping, often, products do get sort of battered. There are little things that you can do, like put cellophane on the outside to try and protect it a little bit. Minimalist actually uses quite strong packaging as well. But the other thing you do is double boarding in order to keep the outside firm. So that's what they've done. There's actually a lot of packaging going on in here. Okay, interesting. One. Oh, they put the pipettes separately. Okay, interesting. All right. So again, they've gone with glass. I struggle with glass. So we basically, when we created our lip hyperpigmentation kit, the scrubs were in glass and the balm was in a glass. And, oh, the smell. Oh my goodness. Ooh, oh my gosh. I can't. Oh, I think I'm going to feel sick. I can't. It's a lot. My goodness. Wow. So this is a downside of fragrance-free. When you have, because I love fragrance-free, right, for skin of color. But if the actual raw ingredients itself stink, it's not the best user experience. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. So, oh, wow. It's coming out very yellow. There we go. Oh, okay, it's tingling a bit, okay. Let's go through the ingredients list. So this is 23% ascorbic acid pure. This is too high and too irritating for daily use. They put in sodium hyaluronate, which is your humectant, but there's no other actives in this product. For me, this is one to avoid for skin of color. As beautiful as the box is and how strong it is, this is not something that you should be wearing every day, especially if you've got skin of color or Indian skin and you're in India. This is not the one. Moving on to Klairs. Klairs is one that you guys have asked me for a lot. It's a Korean brand. Can you also write down below which other Korean brands you want me to do? I think I just did Beauty of Joseon, which was a big video, a huge video for every single product. Also, I think you guys wanted me to do Anua, A-N-U-A, and Nibsum, or I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to buy all the products from there as well. If there's any other Korean ones, let me know. Okay, they do have really cute packaging, I have to say. They've not really paid attention, though, to UV light hitting the product, so that's a problem. Again, with the pipette, so no Ellis pump here. Pure vitamin C, centella, and hybrid stabilization technology. Okay, let's have a look. So again, very liquidy. Smells not terrible. Feels a little bit warm on the skin, actually. What's in this? Looking at the ingredients list, it's got water, it's got propylene glycol, which is your moisturizer. It's got ascorbic acid, so pure ascorbic acid. That's why it's probably feeling a little bit warm and a bit tingly on the skin. It's got centella, so they're trying to calm the skin as anti-inflammatory. But they've put in here grapefruit extract, orange oil, lavender oil, and limonene. And the reason they've done that is because obviously vitamin C pure stinks. So they're trying to sort of cover the smell. But now imagine you've put pure ascorbic acid on the skin, right? Which is essentially an exfoliator. And now you've put in fragrance as well, the irritant. So you combine those two things together. If you put that for skin of color and then you go out into the sun, this is a disaster for us, especially under the harsh UV rays. Plus you've got pollution you're dealing with and dust. This is not the product for you. This is not one that I would use or one that I would recommend. Moving on to Quench. Okay, so let's see what's in here. Interesting. So the box is coming a bit bent because again, there's no double cardboarding inside. Don't forget, you don't need double cardboard, that's expensive. Plus, however thick the box is, that also adds to the price. You have to think about this. I'm the manufacturer of my own brand, so I know the cost of everything and you really do take everything into consideration when you are producing the product. So they've done this to try and protect the bottle itself by putting plastic around it. So that's one way to do this. It also is a security, helps with security as well to make sure that your product's not been tampered with. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, interesting. So they're coming in as an emulsion. That's because it's vitamin C plus vitamin E. So there are fats in this and that's why it's not clear, it's white. All right, let's see what it looks like. This is the only downside with straw pumps. Hold on, is this a straw? Yeah, it's a straw. So when it's a straw, it means it's not airless. And it also, and this is a problem that I had with our body exfoliator, is when we start off as a straw and it's so annoying trying to pump out a very thick product out of a straw. This is why airless pumps are better, but airless pumps are more expensive. So we had to move to an airless pump for this same reason. But you can see it coming out. So it does actually look lovely when it comes out. Quite light on the skin. It's going to penetrate very easily. Very strong smell. You're not going to like it. It's a very sharp smell. I think it's going to attract the bees, this one. And this product starts off with water, of course. Then they've put in butylene glycol, so that's your humectant. They put in glycerin, another humectant. Niacinamide 2%, which I love actually. Niacinamide is your best friend when it comes to anyone with large pores that want to be reduced. If you've got oily skin, you want to control sebum production. If you've got dry, red, inflamed skin, it helps, it's an anti-inflammatory. So actually, niacinamide is excellent. It says vitamin C and vitamin E on the label, but there is no vitamin C in the INCI list, in the ingredients list. So if they're saying it comes from the avocado oil, then this is the 21st ingredient on the ingredients list, and it's just too low down for it to be in the therapeutic index. So this is an example of false advertising, because what they've done is they said, hey, this is a brightening serum with vitamin C and vitamin E. There's no vitamin C in the ingredients list. There's avocado oil, and they're hoping that maybe in there's a little bit of vitamin C. There's nothing in here in the therapeutic index other than the niacinamide. I love this as a niacinamide serum. The smell is not great, and actually there are better niacinamide serums for you on Nykaa. So for me, you're really not going to get this intense brightening from these ingredients at such low percentages. So it's another no. Moving on to Minimalist. So how many of you guys have asked me to make videos on this? I've got to show you something. Hold on one second. There we go. I'm just going to show the inside of this. So you guys asked me to review Minimalist, and I literally went and purchased every single product of the brand. Next week, I'm going to write this video script for you and probably film it in a couple of weeks for you. But yes, I do listen to everyone in the comment section. I try and buy everything you ask me to buy. But yeah, this is, again, non-sponsored. Everything is non-sponsored, so we are paying for everything here. Okay, so I do have solid packaging. I like the packaging. Oh, okay. I really like Minimalist, just generally as a brand. I've done a lot of videos on it. I don't like all the products for skin of color, but I like this kind of thing. You know, like Hide Nothing. This is cool. He did a really good, the owner of this brand actually did a really good podcast the other day that I listened to. I just love the transparency. I think it's so cool. I think it's really refreshing. Just a very humble man, and yeah, really impressed with him actually. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this. So again, they've tried with the UV protection, right? So I don't think you're going to get much UV in here. This is excellent. But one thing about Minimalist is they have taken their inspiration, heavy inspiration, from The Ordinary, and The Ordinary were all pipetted bottles. And what basically happened with The Ordinary was it wasn't just Minimalist who took inspiration from them. It was all the brands. And so if The Ordinary was using pipettes, everyone started using pipettes for vitamin C. So here we do have oxygen around this product. It's a very similar smell to everything else, but it is a raw active ingredient smell, not that they've put in anything to mask it or fragrance added. In here, they put in 15% 3-O-ethyl acid, which I love. They put in humectants, so those are water magnets, and they put in ferulic acid, which I also love. It's a safe product, no denatured alcohol, no fragrance, no essential oils, but again, the packaging is not ideal. So Minimalist, if you had used the same formula and you changed the packaging, I would give this a 10 out of 10, but as it is, I'm just not a fan of pipettes because of the oxygen situation. Moving on to Foxtail. Right, so they have been very clever with this to try and protect the actual box itself. Boost glow, helps with pigmentation, a couple of pumps on the skin. pH 3 to 3.5. It's quite low. That's why. It's water and then ascorbic acid. All right, let's have a quick look what's inside. Very good, Foxtail. They did well with their packaging. We have an airless pump. I'm very happy. Okay, nice. Oh. Okay. Let's give it a second. It does this. Hold on, it just needs to get, there we go. Just need to catch. Give it a second. 2 hours later.
2 hours later.
I'm sure it's going to work, Foxtail. Don't worry, I've got you. This is going to happen. This happens sometimes. It's so annoying. 10 minutes later.
10 minutes later.
Oh my God, this is actually crazy. Oh. Okay, we've got it. It caught. Yes, it's coming out. There we go. So that's what it looks like. So it's coming out as an emulsion. That means there's fats in here. Absorbs quite nicely into the skin. Interesting smell. Right, so for me, the positive here is, of course, the packaging. However, I'm not happy with a lot of this product. It's 15% pure L-ascorbic acid. So like they've said, it's got a low pH. This is going to be too irritating to use every day. And plus they added fragrance. So those are two you never combine. You never combine pure L-ascorbic acid with fragrance. This is a recipe for disaster, especially in a hot country. So Foxtail, even though you did very, very well with your packaging, airless pump, and it's beautiful, and I think it's very Instagrammable. You're going to see this everywhere, and that's probably one of the reasons it's done so well. But the actual formula itself, I think you can definitely do a better job. Moving on to Dot and Key. Okay, so we have our security label. Interesting. Here we go. Again with a pipette. Ooh, gosh, okay. I do actually like this. This is very nice. I like the heaviness. It does feel good quality, but even the pipette's very nice actually. It's just the wrong formula for a pipette. Oh, there we go. Very clear liquid, okay. That's what it looks like. Smells not too bad actually. So that's one positive. But let's have a look at what else is in here. So first of all, it's got water, then it's got ethyl ascorbic acid, which I like. Then they put in niacinamide, which I like again, and then glycerin. They have used alpha arbutin, but a tiny fraction of a percent. So it's not, you're not really going to get much benefit from that. A problem with this is that they put in blood orange fruit extract, which is an irritant. Plus the packaging is also not ideal because it's not airless packaging. There are a few tweaks you guys could make, Dot and Key. If you just change your packaging and you just get rid of the blood fruit extract, which is an irritant, I think you're going to be onto a fantastic formula. So just a couple of things that I would throw out there. And I know this sounds like a really harsh video, but what I found is a lot of the formulators from the big brands watch this channel. They are actually excellent in terms of they will see where maybe things can be improved, and they tend to just go back to the drawing board and they go make better products. And so videos like this, even though they're very critical, ultimately they are great for the population, because then you get better offerings. And actually, once you do something like this and you just critique everything side by side, India is probably one of the most entrepreneurial countries I've ever been to, and I have investigated brands from every country pretty much. But the one thing about India is the speed of innovation is, you just can't compete with it. It's just, people are hungry to do well, including the formulators, including the brand owners, and they are all ready to improve. No one's got these big egos where they sit on their high horses and get upset with videos like this. It's actually quite good. So even though it sounds like I'm being really harsh, I do hope I would give it 6 months from releasing this video to suddenly seeing improvements in all these formulas. I will then do another video for you, Nika and India, on vitamin C's that will be available for you in 6 to 9 months. And I promise you it's going to be better than what we've got available right now. Moving on to the Derma Co. So as you guys know, I have never reviewed the Derma Co, and the reason is that I collaborated with the Derma Co to create our Renew range. And I feel like there's a conflict of interest because I love the Derma Co family. They have given me an incredible opportunity to formulate for my skin of color family in India. And if it weren't for them, working with me for a year and a half to create this range, I would never have been able to serve my family in India. It's very hard because I love these guys. It's very hard for me to give, independent critical feedback, but I'm going to do my absolute best. The reason is that thousands of you have said, Dr. V, we know you work with the Derma Co, but can you please just review the product anyway for us and do your best? So I am doing this for you guys, but I don't really ever want to review these guys because I love them so much, but I'm going to do my best for you now. So I'm going to be very impartial, as if I don't love them. Do my best. So right, starting off with the packaging. So it is a pipette, like with everyone else, but I do think that this should be in an airless pump. But let's go through the formula and see what else is in here. Let me show you what it looks like. See what it smells like. It's the same smell as everything else. All the vitamin C's are smelling the same. And it is a very strong smell. And it's because the raw acid is smelled. The raw ingredients are quite stinky, actually. They don't have any fragrance to mask it. Okay, so let's go through it. Starting off with water, of course, is the first ingredient. Then it's got propanediol, which is a solvent. So that's basically what helps to absorb and allow everything else to dissolve into the formula. Then they put in 10% 3-O-ethyl-ascorbic acid. That is my favorite, one of my favorite forms of vitamin C. In fact, it's the vitamin C that I wanted to put into our retinaldehyde serum. They put in 5% niacinamide, which I love, and that's the correct percentage. You want to look at niacinamide between 2 to 5%. When you're seeing 10%, you know that kind of was just sort of everyone copying The Ordinary's bestseller, but actually clinical studies are done from 2 to 5%. More than that can lead to irritation. This, by the way, also includes when you're layering products. When you're layering, say for example, you've got a face wash, which you're, washing off, that's fine. Then you put on a toner with niacinamide. Say that's 1%. Then you put in your moisturizer, which has got, say, 2%. You're adding that on. And then you have, say, a sunscreen with 2%. You're adding that. You now have 5% niacinamide on the skin. And so also add up, because it's cumulative, how you're layering to make sure you keep it within that 2 to 5% range. They also put in ferulic acid at a fraction of a percent, which is what we tend to recommend. Again, I love ferulic acid. This is a safe product. There's no denatured alcohol, no fragrance, no essential oils. But again, I'm not a fan of pipettes. So for me, if this became an airless pump, I would say this would become one of the best formulas for vitamin C in India. So if we were to reformulate this, I would keep the same formula actually, but I would put it in airless packaging, but make sure also UV light is not hitting the formula either. Moving on to Innisfree. So if you have seen my mineral sunscreen video for India, you will know that I did love the Innisfree sunscreen. Actually, I was quite impressed with it. It probably was one of the best when it came to mineral sunscreens. So I just need to clean my hand. I've got so much vitamin C. What you'll see is, when I make these videos, like one side of my face is becoming very moisturized or like very bright by the end of it. Oh, here we go again with the pipette. Not much is coming out. All right. So that's what it looks like. They have tried with the UV light by making sure it's opaque and no light can get in. Same strong vitamin C smell. Okay, so let's go through it. In here, they've put in water, propanediol, which is your emollient, and then they've put in glycerin, your humectant. They put in 2-O-ethyl acid, which is excellent. There's actually a lot of good ingredients in here, like niacinamide, tranexamic acid, and glutathione, but they're all at a fraction of a percent, so you're probably not going to get much benefit from those actives. It is NAVE safe, so no denatured alcohol, no fragrance, no essential oils, but again, I don't like the packaging. In terms of the best formulas on Nykaa for vitamin C, it would be these three. It would be Minimalist, Derma Co, and Deconstruct. But my advice for all three would be to change the packaging to LS pumps. Don't forget, I am in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every YouTube video. So when you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can come and ask me your skincare questions. If you're looking for a brightening, anti-aging, anti-acne, vitamin C, vitamin A serum, so a combination, then this is a formula I made for you. So I made it in combination with the Derma Co and it is available on Nykaa. This is not for you, however, if you're looking for a simple vitamin C serum. This is an ingredient loaded, expensive serum at 1,599 rupees. So in here, I've put in 3% peptides, 0.2% retinol and retinaldehyde. So don't forget, retinaldehyde works 10 times faster than retinol. And the two together actually work synergistically. So you get less irritation, but maximum benefit. And that is what we're looking for with Skin of Color. I put in 1% alpha arbutin. So that's in the therapeutic index to help with hyperpigmentation and dark marks. Also put in vitamin C. So I chose to go with ascorbyl glucoside for this product. What was really exciting about this product was the clinical results. 94% saw an even skin tone in 14 days. 94% also observed brighter skin in 14 days. 75% saw a reduction in hyperpigmentation. And of course, the most important part of this whole product is it was airless packaging, which meant that there was no oxygen to oxidize the antioxidants, i.e. the vitamin C, the vitamin A, to make sure it's effective when you're using it. Now you know the best vitamin Cs on Nykaa. Watch why I've never reviewed the Derma Co.